Hello everyone, my name is Nachiketa and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build Python web applications without using any HTML, CSS or JavaScript. I had previously made a similar video using a library called Gradio, but in this video, we're going to be using a library called PyWebIO, and it's pretty amazing in terms of its functionalities. Basically, you'll be able to accept any input from the user through a web application. You'll be able to process that input and return that onto the web page. You'll also be able to deploy and train machine learning models. But in this video, we're going to keep it simple and let me show you what application we're going to be able to build by the end. So this is how the application looks like, which is hosted on my local server. So let's say it accepts my name and it says, hi, welcome to your website, and asks me the age. I've set an if condition that if I set an age less than 16, it won't let me access the web page. So I'll write, let's say 17, and it says, congrats, you can use your website. If it was less than 16, it would not allow me to use this. And this is basically a BMI calculator, right? You enter your height and weight, and based on particular conditions, it will tell you if you're underweight, overweight, or normal. So I enter any height and some weight. So it says this is my BMI and the category is normal. So basically an if else condition has been put in place in the background, and this is what we're going to be building. You will be able to see a similar code in the documentation for BMI calculator. I have just added a few more functionalities, and you can just refer to the original documentation if you have any doubts at any point. So the first thing that you have to do is install the PyWebIO library, and you can use this command to do that. Once you've installed it, we can proceed with the code. And basically I start by importing certain functions to accept certain types of input and certain types of output, right? So let me just show you where I use that in the code. And basically you have to define a function which will accept an input, process that input, and return an output. So I'm just going to be asking what's the user's name by using the input function. And if I want to display something on the web page, I can use put underscore text, and I return this text with the name of the person, right? So if you want to display the output in some different fashion, you can check that in the original documentation. You can also display HTML codes directly by using something called as the put underscore HTML, which is present over here, as you can see. So you can experiment with this, right? So basically once that's done, I'm also gonna accept input of the user's age, and I'm writing input group because instead of one input, you can also access multiple inputs. So you can ask the user's age, you can ask his profession, anything you want. You basically have to add everything in a list. So in this list, you can see there's one item which is the input of what's your age, right? The variable for this particular input is going to be stored as age, and type is equal to float. Basically the number that you're going to be accepting as age is going to be of float type. And you can add multiple inputs inside this list. All right, so it will be stored as user info. It's basically a dictionary in a key value format. So the key is going to be the age, the value is going to be whatever the user enters. So basically what I want to do is if the age present in user info is less than 16, I put a warning saying you cannot access our website, right? There's another pre-built function which you will be able to see in the original document. If the user is older than 16, he can access this website, and I will write, congrats, you can use your website. When I write put underscore success, it will basically print it in a nice looking box. That's it. So we accept two inputs from the user, the height and the weight. Again, you can go to the original documentation, and you will be able to accept different types of input. You can accept input in radio buttons, or you can also have check boxes that will basically select one option, and it will basically be set as a boolean value of true or false. So this is how we accept an input basically, and we have to mention type as float. And to calculate the BMI, it's a predefined function. You take the weight divided by height by 100 and square it, right? So this is a predefined formula, and basically I want to categorize the user based on what is his BMI level. I create a list with predefined standards that if the BMI is less 16 or less than 16, it is severely underweight. If it's around 18.5, then that's underweight. If it's less than 25 and more than 18.5, it's normal, and so on and so forth. So basically I iterate through this list that I've created, and if the BMI which is calculated is less than a particular number, then I simply print the BMI and the category. I print what is the BMI and what is the status, right? We do that using these placeholders that you see over here. So once that's done, I break out of this loop, and at the end over here I simply run this function. So let me run it again, and it will redirect me to the same web page that we had seen at the start. And this time, if let's enter age less than 16. If I enter 15, it will tell me, sorry, you can't access our website, right? If it was more than 16, then it would have shown the same functionality that we had seen at the start. So I just wanted to make a short tutorial about this library so that you guys can also be aware about this and start using it. In my future videos, I'll be showing you how to deploy machine learning models as well. So the concept remains same even for machine learning applications. You accept some input from the user, you give that input to a machine learning model, right? And the machine learning model is going to use those inputs to make a prediction and return that output back. So in that way, you'll have a machine learning web app ready just using Python commands. So I will show that in future videos and basically how to deploy that model as well. So if you did like this video, do like it and subscribe to this channel, and see you in the next video.